Përshëndetje Shqipe, a je si je? Në këtë video do t'i shpjegoj 5 mashtrime Magjik.
And down into the water. He doesn't sink. Instead, he is walking on water.
Nëse doni më shumë video, mos harroni të bëni like, subscribe dhe të klikoni zilën. E fillojmë këtë video me magjistarin e njohur amerikan Chris Angel. Kjo video u publiku në YouTube në vitin 2008 dhe u përfol shumë. Në video shifët amerikani duke u ngrit në ajër dhe duke fluturuar nga një objekt drejt një objekti tjetër. Shpjegimin e këtij mashtrimi e kemi nga magjistari me maskë. Shikoni.
Wow, he's floating off the roof. Well, it certainly looks like he's floating, but that could be an illusion. Let's watch some more. He's now hovering over the building without any visible means of support. This actually does look pretty freaky. These incredible angles show a complete view of the magician and the area around him. He's achieving the impossible. Watch now as he begins to float down toward the earth with nothing above and nothing below to help him accomplish this trick through devious means.
Pra shifët që mashtrimi është gati i njëjtë, po si e bëri këtë? Me siguri keni kuptuar që nuk ka superfuqi se Supermani. I vetmi eroj në këtë rast është ky, propozici i këtij krani.
Sitting in the cab of a 50-foot crane. Dangling from the top of this crane is a set of very thin aircraft cables, the same kind used to make Peter Pan fly on Broadway and in theaters across the country.
Magjistari është i mbajtur nga dy kabla, dhe arsyeja pse ato nuk shifen është qielli dhe pozicionimi i kamerës.
Designed harness that has been used on stage for decades.
Pra në këtë kanë mund të shohim kablët.
Can pick up the wires, shattering the illusion. The most difficult part of this trick is lowering the magician.
Iluzioni është perfekt.
How about that?
Në vendin e 4 kemi prap magjistarin me maskë, por kësaj radhe kjo do ta kalon një mor. Asistentët e tij sjellin një ekran magjik dhe shohin magjistarin në hije duke u futur në mor. Njëra prej asistentëve na tregon që muri nuk ka ndonjë derë ose diçka të tillë.
She acts as if the magician is stuck inside. She looks and listens for any signs of life. The screens are brought around to the other side of the wall and the process is reversed.
Ekrani sjellet në anën tjetër dhe procesi është i kundërt.
Now it seems as if the magician is emerging from the center of the wall.
Tani magjistari del nga muri.
And the trick is complete. Now the assistants bring out the screen. A light is turned on so you can see the magician's shadow.
Mashtrimi është i thjeshtë. Përderisa magjistari lëviz drejt murit, intensiteti i dritës ullet dhe duket sikur se magjistari është dukur në mor.
The lighting director slowly fades the light. It now seems as if the magician has disappeared into the wall. After moving to the side of the screen, he makes his escape.
Në momentin që asistentja tij na tregon që muri nuk ka ndonjë derë, magjistari futet brenda ekranit magjik.
As the assistants move the screen to the other side of the wall, you can clearly see that the magician is walking inside.
Ky duhet të jetë i kujdesshëm që publiku të mos i shef këmbët ose hijen e tij.
Carefully, or the audience might see his feet or shadow. That would pretty much ruin the trick. The screen is put back into place and the process is reversed. He moves forward as if magically materializing from the center of the wall.
Dhe kemi prap një mashtrim perfekt. Në vendin e tretë kemi një mashtrim që ndoshta keni parë në rrjetet sociale. Duket që këta magjistar ka një forcë mbi njerëzore, por në fakt, këtë mashtrim mund ta bën çdo kush. Për këtë mashtrim nevojitet një platformë hekuri dhe një tepi për ta mbulu. Pastaj nevojitet një top hekuri për ta bashku platformën ku magjistari do ulet me atë platformën në tokë. Magjistari mund të qëndrojnë këtë pozitë tërë ditën. Në vendin e dytë kemi një mashtrim magjik që kam prezantuar në videon 5 dështime magjik, ku në dy rastet e parë kishim dy magjistar që tentonin të delin nga një varr. Njëri prej tyre humbi jetën, si shumë magjistar tjerë. Pra, si funksionon ky mashtrim? Në këtë video kemi prap magjistarin me maskë që na tregon.
Except they're attached to the coffin with Velcro. Once the lid is nailed shut and he's lowered into the ground, the magician frees himself from the straps and slips out a trap door that's built into the side of the coffin.
Pasi që i zgjidh dur dhe këmbët, magjistari del nga arkivolin nga një derë të fshetë dhe futet në një dhomë.
Next to the grave, a small wooden room is concealed in the ground. A sliding shelf that pushes out into the grave. This shelf, about 2 feet beneath the surface, will provide the step the magician needs to climb up out of the grave. As the first load of dirt is being poured into the hole, he re-enters the grave, slipping through a secret panel. He pulls himself onto the shelf and waits until the hole is filled, before standing up and revealing himself. Of course, the audience thinks he's still in the coffin. When the dust clears, you can see that the magician, lightly covered in dirt, is actually crouched on the shelf. He takes his last gasp of breath while the final 2 full minutes before the magician will be able to take another breath of air. With all that weight crushing his lungs, there is a real danger of suffocation. After what must seem like an eternity for the magician, the hole is finally filled, and it's time for his dramatic reappearance. A suspense-filled pause, and the masked magician stands up on the shelf. He slowly pulls himself out of the ground. First one hand appears, then the other. Finally, his whole body.
Dhe pas disa minutash magjistari del nga varri I gjallë.
The magician stands proud at his accomplishment.
Shikoni edhe një herë si duket mashtrimi për publikun.
Resting place. The lid of the coffin is then nailed shut. Through the shadow. Next, the grave is filled with dirt, 6,000 pounds to be exact. Those shovels would take all day. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Many magicians have died while attempting this escape. Let's not make it one more. By this point, the magician is probably feeling a little lightheaded. If he panics, it's all over. Rest in peace, masked man. But what's this? Could I be wrong? Is that our magician rising from the grave? It's him, all right. A little dirty and a little out of breath. But lucky to be alive. The masked magician has escaped an early grave. And the great Houdini couldn't have done it any better.
Në vendin e parë kemi prap magjistarin amerikan Chris Angel, por kësaj radhe kjo ecë mbi ujë. Më falni për kualitetin shumë të dopt, por kjo video publiku në YouTube në vitin 2006. Fatmirësisht magjistari me maskë na tregon me një kualitet më të mirë se si realizohet ky mashtrim.
And down into the water. He doesn't sink. Instead, he is walking on water. I told you this was biblical. While surrounded by spectators, the magician is walking across the surface of the water. Remember, there are no camera tricks, and that is really the magician marching across the pool. From this angle, we can see as his feet are treading on top of the water, a spectator swims underneath him. This is truly, he's almost there.
Me të vërtetë duket që magjistari ecë mbi ujë.
He's made it. The masked magician has demonstrated the most amazing feat of all, walking.
Pra si e bën këtë?
So how did the magician?
Shpjegimi është shumë I thjeshtë. Në fakt, magjistari nuk ecë mbi ujë, por mbi tavolina
The
xhami.
secret lies within this industrial-grade clear plexiglass. The plexi is mounted on clear plexiglass legs. When it is
Për këtë mashtrim duhet që kamerat filmojnë në një kënd në të cilin nuk vrejnë tavolinat. Nëse filmon kështu nuk vrejnë fare, por nëse filmon pak më lart dhe me një kënd tjetër, tavolinat vrejnë shumë mirë.
The platforms in this illusion have been constructed in various size planks and are supported by the clear legs that reach the bottom of the pool. The platforms are long and narrow and are best seen from low angles. The platforms are hard to see from the sides, so the camera angles are carefully chosen and plotted out to make the trick believable. One of the platforms is built extra wide and used for the camera angles looking straight down into the pool. It's wide, so that the edges of the plank, which are hardest to disguise, are always just outside of camera range. Here it is again from a wider angle where you can see the edges. Now they're raised slightly above the surface, so you can see the gaps in between that the magician simply steps across. The gaps give room for the paid spectators to swim in between, disguising the submerged plexiglass legs and drawing attention away from the edges of the planks. They further convince the audience that there is nothing suspicious in the water. Notice how the assistants and spectators are splashing and making waves? The moving water also helps to draw attention away from the deception. When the water in the pool is moving, it's much more difficult to see the platforms. Walking on water. Not so miraculous.
Pra kaq ishte për këtë video. Nëse të ka pëlqyer dhe të përkrojsh kanalin, mos harro të bësh like dhe subscribe. Faleminderit që shikove Top Shqip dhe mirëmbajtje.